Hey, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to show you a little bit of the Summoner. This is an upcoming class scheduled for December. I know it's a little bit ahead of time, but I was thinking that if some of you might be interested in playing a Summoner or maining a Summoner, I would give you some details ahead of time so that hopefully they would help you prepare or better prepare for its release, right? In terms of maybe getting a couple of accessories, thinking about your engraving books or maybe gems, etc. So today I'm going to show you the beautiful class Summoner. This is my main as well, and I've been waiting for it for feels like forever at this point. I'm gonna show you most of the skills. We're gonna discuss the two different builds that you can play on Summoner and how they work. If you're interested in finding me live, by the way, I'm live on Twitch every week on twitch.tv/Saivo-san. So the Summoner is a magical range DPS class, magical in more ways than the literal one because it looks fantastic, it sounds really good as well, at least to my eyes. You're gonna hear and view for yourself throughout the video. As a class, we're very self-sufficient. We have access to a self-shield as well if we want to. We have access to a crit chance self-buff, which is a huge asset for the Summoner build. We're gonna talk about it in a moment. We also have access to several attack power increase, self-attack power increase buffs. These buffs, we play around them. The whole rotation is based around these attack power buffs that we give to ourselves, but to the party we also provide a 12% increase damage debuff on the targets. In terms of the two builds, you have here in front of you the one that is based on Specialization. Specialization for Summoner increases the damage that these ancient skills do. As a Summoner, you have access to your regular 8 skills, but you also have access to a selection, one at a time, of an ancient skill. You juggle in between your ancient skill with a keybind selected by you, of course, and when you have settled on one, you can press another keybind to cast it. For example, if I'm settled on Alimage, then I can just press the keybind. Oh my god, and just cast it, right? And these ancient skills, you have something for each occasion. Obviously, some of them you will most likely never get to use unless you're doing different kind of content, like maybe open world PvP or arena PvP. In that case, there are preferences in terms of which ancient skill you would use and based on the content that you do. Now let me show you how the skills in a Specialization build look and sound. This is called a sticky swamp moss, and you place it on our targets. This is our party synergy as well, and this is something that gives us an attack power buff. So we would use this before a major skill like the ancient spear, for example, or one of our ancient skills. The next one is the horses. This is a beautiful skill. Then we have the ancient spear, which is a telegraph. We have a lot of these telegraphs that you need to get used to placing on the ground and casting them or clipping them on the ground. Right, then we have the earth skill, which is also a telegraph. Yeah. Next up is the plant, the flower, which is also a self buff, an attack power buff. Again, same as the sticky swamp moss, we would use the flower before a major combo that we're planning to do, right? Then we have Shruti. Shruti is a summon, a pet that follows us around, also attacks the targets for some damage, but very importantly, it gives us the crit buff. This crit buff, obviously, right now I'm using a level 1 tripod on Shruti for the crit buff, but it can be buffed to level 5, which provides us a 12% crit chance buff just for us. This is absolutely massive, and this is mandatory in a build that is based on Swiftness as a secondary stat. or on crit, like we have it right here. Yeah, so a very good skill. It also provides the party with a, this is the one that gives the party the 40% mana regeneration. So this should be up all the time. You have it up all the time regardless if you play Swiftness as a secondary for more cooldown reduction or crit. And it's a really important skill. Next one, another telegraph that we cast, and it chases the target and it sticks to it wherever it goes. It moves quite slow, so if a boss jumps backwards instantly, then it's going to take some time to chase it. This one recovers a lot of gauge. We use a wealth rune on it as well. And finally, the last one is another spirit. You place it. You have to make sure that you place it facing the target, because it just shoots in front. During this skill cast, we get a really nice mana regeneration buff as well, just for ourselves. So it's an important skill to cast for that when we run low on mana. Now, in terms of ancient skills, this is the juicy part of the summoner that plays specialization. Let's just go through them. We have the foot. Yeah. Then we have Alimage, which is the dragon. Oops, wrong skill. I pressed the W. Let's do the Alimage. Yeah, I want you to get a good picture of Alimage, because this is my absolute favorite skill and one of the reasons why I stuck with Summoner for so long. Beautiful. Next one, let's restore our gauge. Next one is the Phoenix. This is a very long ranged skill with an explosion after. After the Phoenix, we have the one skill that you use when you want to roleplay as Frozen. You can have your skin be something white and blue, and using this skill, you're 100% from the movie Frozen. Yeah, and lastly, you have this one, Alakir. This is a very good skill as well. So now that I give you a quick tour of the skills, how they sound and look, I can tell you that it feels much better to actually put them in practice and play. It has a certain flow to it. Obviously, it's not a very mobile class, and as you noticed, there are a lot of these to press and cast. Also, a couple of casts in the specialization build, fewer casts in the Swiftness build. We're going to get to that in a moment. It feels much better when you just have a flow to the whole class. Just to show you how it looks and sounds with a flow, I will cast a couple of skills one after another. Yeah. Yeah, much better. Much better if you do them one after another and you keep doing it. And on top of these skills that you see here, obviously there's other skills for other occasions that are really nice skills that you can use possibly when you play Summoner in PvP. There's a variety that you can go for, and even in terms of the build, since we're here, you don't necessarily have to play Swiftness crit. You can play Specialization crit. You can play Specialization Swiftness if you feel that a faster pace is better for you. There is also options to change your engravings to a certain degree. Here we're playing Master Summoner, which is the class engraving that deals or buffs the ancient spirits, this one right here. We're playing the Keen Blunt, Grudge, Curse Doll, and Hitmaster, but you can also replace Hitmaster with Adrenaline in case you are giving up some of your crit for Swiftness, and then you would have sort of a faster pace build that provides a very similar amount of crit chance, but at the cost of the Hitmaster engraving, or some of it because Adrenaline also gives you some attack power, right? So all in all, there are some choices even within a specific build, such as the Specialization one. The difference in between the two builds is not necessarily the stat, obviously the stats also, but more importantly the class engraving. Now we're playing Overwhelming Sympathy class engraving, which deals with our summons. This is a summon summon, Shruti is a summon, the plant is a summon, and these two new skills are also summons. The class engraving increases their damage and the amount of time they persist on the field. Obviously, the more they stay there, the more damage they do. So it's a great class engraving for that. We play Swiftness as a main stat and Crit as a secondary. However, there is a very popular build where you play Specialization as a secondary. We're going to get there in just a moment. The gems have also changed for this build, as in we have much more damage gems and much less cooldown gems, because we don't really need that many cooldowns as we play Swiftness. Plus, we don't really use these skills to generate ancient energy, so because of that we play a little bit different in terms of gem setup, which is important because attack gems are valued higher than the cooldown gems, so this one has more attack gems. In terms of engravings though, it's a little bit different. There's not so many mainstream engravings here. For example, Raid Captain is something that you can play around with, right? We have the class engraving, we have Adrenaline because we really want Adrenaline level 3, Keen Blunt and Grudge. Let me show you the skills also. These you already know, right? But there are these two new summons. This is Maririn and this is Pauru. At least that's how they were translated. They are AI controlled summons which attack the nearest target, and you have one skill for each that is an active. You activate it. Maririn does a charge in this tripod setup, and Pauru does a blue flame breath. Yeah, I almost forgot to show you the other awakening, which is another summon that should be part of this Swiftness build, as it deals with that. It's this one. So you summon him, and then you summon Maririn, Pauru, Shruti, the plant, and the water spirit, and you're sort of like overwhelmed with pets doing the work for you. As you can imagine, being AI controlled units, sometimes they're stupid, and there's gonna be some funny moments when you wish they were smarter. There's gonna be some despair moments when you wish things would have went a different way. But it's a very interesting gameplay. It's something that we haven't had so far in Lost Ark in our Western version. And I'm pretty sure it's going to bring another element of interesting to Lost Ark, a class that has a lot of things going for it on the screen, a lot of pets. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again here for my next video. I thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a lovely day, evening, morning, whenever you're watching. I'll see you really soon. Take care.